Hello artists, I'm so excited to have another week with you. This week we're going to be painting pictures of ourselves, but we're going to be doing it in the style of Frida Kahlo. She's one of my very favorite artists. She grew up in Mexico. She loved animals and plants, and she always included those in her self-portraits. So we're going to be learning a little bit about her today, and then we are going to do our own Frida Kahlo inspired self-portrait. So to get started, I'm first thinking about Frida and what her pictures were like. When she did a self-portrait, which is a drawing of herself, she never drew herself smiling. Something else she did a lot is put plants and nature around herself. And a lot of times she would draw her eyebrows together. And that's a fun thing. If you really want to be Frida style, you could do that, but you don't have to do that. In this book, it says Frida never smiled in her paintings, and that it could have been because she had bad teeth. She liked to paint her eyebrows to look like the wings of a bird. And you can see her looking in the mirror to kind of think about what she looks like as she draws. So I am getting out a mirror to kind of help myself with drawing a picture of my own face. I would recommend getting a mirror or a picture of yourself to kind of help you draw yourself. And I just want to remind you, if we're doing a self-portrait in the style of Frida, there are 3 things we want to make sure we do. One thing is that we want to make sure the drawing is of you. Drawing of you. That's what a self-portrait is. The next thing that I would like you to do is make sure you surround yourself with nature in the background. Nature, plants in background. And the next thing I would like to make sure that you do is also add an animal. And something else, it's going to be a not smiling picture of yourself. So these are the things that we're going to do in our picture today to make sure it feels Frida inspired. Drawing of you, nature and plants in the background, add an animal in there, and make sure you're not smiling. So there's another example you can see in this picture. She's got these little birds next to her. She loved doing these self-portraits, and I'm going to see if I can find another one that has those animals with her, because that's something she did a lot, is she put animals in the pictures with her. Of course, now I'm having trouble finding another one. Here's one that she did, and you can see the flowers in her hair, the nature in the background. This one doesn't feature an animal, but in the slideshow I'm going to share with each class, you'll see a lot of her pictures did have animals in them. So to get started, I'm going to get my blank paper, and you can use your crayons, colored pencils, and markers to get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is look and see. I think I'm going to start with my nose. So I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, what shapes do I see in my nose? I see like this shape right here where these pieces of my nose are, and my nose kind of comes down like this, and then it has kind of a round piece that goes out, kind of like that. So, I mean, you're just going to do the best you can to look at those shapes on your face and draw them on your paper. Down here I see my mouth, and I'm going to try to do a not smiling mouth, so just my mouth hanging out calm. She doesn't have to, you don't have to look angry, just mouth closed. So there's that. Bottom, the top lip, and then I'm going to add this bottom lip here. All right, now I've got a mouth, I've got a nose, and I'm going to try to put my eyes on here. And so eyes are usually kind of a half circle up there, and then kind of that almond, like the shape of an almond kind of comes down here. And I'm going to do the same thing over here, and like this. And then the middle of my eye is a circle. And there's that darker circle right there. I look kind of surprised. So I'm going to end up coloring that in with some color. And then over the top of your eye is this line where your eyelid is. And then you can put your eyelashes on and things like that. And then if I want my eyebrows to look like Frida's, so they kind of go together, I'm going to put my regular eyebrow on here. That kind of goes along my eye, and then I can add some of those wild hairs through the middle, so I have the Frida eyebrows. And then I need to give myself a chin. Oh my goodness. So here's my chin coming along here, and the side of my face coming up like this. And sometimes people draw their face and they put their hair right here. And your hair doesn't start in your eyebrows. You want to make sure that you're leaving some space for that forehead you got there. So we'll do that. And here's this coming up like this. It comes around. Does it look exactly like Mrs. Edelman? Not really, but it's close enough. Your ears usually start right where your eyes are. So I'm going to go right there. There's my ear coming down here like that. I did notice that in a lot of Frida's pictures, she has big old earrings. So if you want to give yourself some earrings, you can. All right, so the next thing that I'm going to do, I'll let that focus so you can see it. So I drew eyes, nose, mouth. And it doesn't look exactly like me, but it's about the best I can do right now. So the next thing you're going to do is work on coloring that face. Oh, my head's just floating here. I might want to add a neck. So we put the neck on, and I will give myself some shoulders here. And have my shirt. All right. I look kind of wild right now because I don't have any hair. So I'll probably want to do that hair, and then I can start adding in whatever animal I'm going to choose. Will I put a dog, a cat, a bird? There's so many different things that she used in hers. You can get really creative. You could have a bat. You could have a guinea pig. You could have a monkey. She actually did a lot of monkeys. So think about what kind of animal you'd like to add. And for now, I'm going to go ahead and start coloring in my face and hair and things. So you can see first I drew it with a pencil, and I'm going to step away and add color. And then I'll show you the next step after that. All right, so I added some color to the face. I added a little bit of kind of tan color here and a little brown, some brown around my nose. My eyes are kind of a greenish, yellowish brown, so I did that. Put some eyelashes on. And now I am bald. And in real life, I have lots of black hair. And I just love how a lot of times you see Frida's hair. She had flowers in it, so I was thinking about doing something like that. So I'm going to just show you, I'm just going to use my crayon here and put some hair coming down the front, and already it's starting to look a little bit more like me and a little bit less like a little mannequin or something. So I'm just doing the hair with short lines, and so that's how I usually do my hair. It's just line, line, line. And then I'm going to have my hair going behind me a little bit. So if your hair's long, it goes right behind you. If your hair's short, you're going to just be kind of putting it up there at the top. But my hair is long, so it comes down right behind me. And right behind my ear here. All right. And maybe some pieces coming down. Do a little squiggly. Right over that. And then I'm going to have it go back here, and then I can have it come down through the front too. So put your hair on your picture, however your hair looks. Look in your mirror. Is your hair short? Is your hair long? What's going on with that hair, and how can you draw it? I'm just using a black crayon and just making some squiggly wiggly lines to show my hair. And it's up to you how you want to do your own hair. So it's looking, my hair is pretty big. I have kind of big, curly, wild hair when I let it go out. So Just kind of adding that in there. And sometimes it looks nice to add different colors. If you have hair that's a little lighter than mine, you might use brown. You might use a combination of brown and black together. Or if you have light hair, you might use some yellow and then mix in. Or I have some friends with red hair, so lots of different colors you could be mixing in here. All right, this is starting to definitely look a little bit more like myself, so I'm getting a lot more happy with my picture. So then once you have that how you want it, you've got your hair, you colored your face, it's starting to look more like how you would want the picture of yourself to look. Then you've got to think about adding those other elements we talked about. And that was, does your picture, is it a drawing of you? Yep. I'm not smiling. Yep. Now I need some nature and plants, and I need to add an animal. So I want to be thinking, I still have not figured out what animal I'm going to add in here. I'm putting a little brown in my hair because my hair's just a little bit like a real dark brown, almost black. So I'm just going to add a little bit of this in, and then I might color a little bit more with my black crayon. So just adding that in, getting that hair nice and dark. All right, so I think I probably am going to want to add my animal in before I do the background, because if I color all the plants, how will I get my animal in there? I think I'm going to do a dog. I love dogs. I have dogs. I think that's what's going to happen here. So adding a little squiggly there. All right. Next step is I'm going to get my pencil and draw my little dog. Okay, so I think I'm going to do a dog, and I'm going to just put him over here. And so first I'm going to draw that doggy nose. And dog noses are kind of funny shaped, but there's that little doggy nose shape. And then I'm going to have it come down here and be his little mouth with his little tongue out. Oh yeah. And then his little snout goes up like this. Now, I did not really leave a good amount of space for my animal, so you might want to try to draw your face a little smaller than I did. And also, I saw where some examples, people put the animal in the front right here, so you could definitely do that too. You could make sure you draw your animal first and then put it there, or you can draw it on another piece of paper and glue it on, would be another option. So then I'm going to put my little dog's eyes here. So he's got this little round puppy dog eye here and here. And then the top of his head will be up here. And then I'm going to have his big ear go like that and off the page like that. And then he's got all this fur coming down. And so he's going to be just kind of peeking behind my shoulder, peeking over and coming in here. So there is my doggy. Give him some fur coming up along here, and his nose is going like this here, and this is like where his little whiskers are, and coming down like that. There's his bottom, the bottom of his mouth. Okay, so I've got my dog peeking over. I'm going to want to color that doggy in. So if you do a dog, maybe I should add another animal too. Maybe I'll put a bird over here. So I could do just that bird shape. Maybe this bird is sitting behind me. And I can do a bird beak and a little bird eye and have that bird just kind of sitting back here behind me. So you can put one animal, two animals, put your animals in your picture, and then be sure to color them in. Now I've got myself, I've got my dog, I've got my bird, and I'm ready to go to the next step. And that's going to be coloring this shirt in, some kind of color. I think I'll do this pretty blue. So you're going to want to make sure that you color in your outfit. Frida used a lot of bright colors, so I would definitely recommend using bright colors. So I'm going to go ahead and color that in, and then I can start adding in my plants. So when you're ready, you can put flowers and leaves and that kind of thing in the background, however you would like. You could look at plants around your house or out your window to get ideas, or you could do a Google search and just think about different flowers and plants to add that nature part of our picture. So going back to our list of making a Frida inspired self-portrait, it's a drawing of me. I'm not smiling. I added some animals, and now I just need those natural plants and flowers in my background. So let's go ahead and think about how we're going to do that. I could draw a really big leaf coming up like this behind me with my marker and then color it in. I could have some big leaves coming this way. And then I could color those in. I could also draw some flowers. So I might grab my red here, and I could do, when I do a rose, I just kind of do squigglies all around. And then we could color that in with our crayons. So I could have some flowers like that. I could have some flowers that are more like when they have the petals come out like this. So we could just be adding different plants and flowers, and then we want to make sure we color in our whole background, and then we will be finished. All right, I went ahead and added some different little flowers and plants in the background, and I'm really liking this self-portrait in the style of a Frida Kahlo picture. Just a couple little things you can add. Like I said, she wore jewelry in these pictures a lot, so I could give myself a little necklace like she might have had. You could give yourself earrings. There's all kinds of little ways you could decorate this a little bit further if you wanted to. Something else I was thinking is I could add a little bit of pink to my cheeks just to show that there's a little bit of different color in my face here. And you can just get really creative with it. Any kind of plants, animals, and then when you're all finished, I can't wait to see what you've created.